Okay, let me welcome you to this Hangout. I don't know how it's going to go because we've been playing around with it a bit and getting ourselves into hot water because it's the first time we've done this. And there are four of us, as you can see on video, and there are 5 viewers at the moment. Now, the link I sent out to everyone, according to Peter, who knows more about Hangouts than I do, the original link I sent out to you through Meetup and so on, is the link that takes you on as a viewer, which means you can't participate on video. There is another link that I've discovered that you have to send out, that I've since sent out to Peter and to Rashid and to Joe, who you can see are on video, and that gets them on video. Now, when we do Hangouts, you can have up to 10 people on video. And every time someone else speaks, their picture automatically goes up. So do you want to say something, Peter?
Yes, welcome to the test of the video and the HOA for GlobalNet21. Hello to everyone.
And that's how it happens. Whoever speaks, their picture automatically is seen. So if everyone speaks at once, we're in trouble. Anyhow, the things that you can do, I don't know about the viewers who keep going between 1 and 5 in and out. I don't know why that is. It's now 2. I gather that you all have access to some tools that if you put your cursor to the left of your screen, you should get some tools coming up. And if you do, those tools allow you to have a chat box, and they allow you to have other tools as well. And the top one is a little icon, which is a chat box. And if you click on that, you see the chat box. There's another one which gives you a showcase. And the showcase are ones that I've set up of GlobalNet things. You can see the GlobalNet site. You can see the Google site. You can see some of our events. We're getting a lot of feedback on this. So I think someone's got their speakers on. We should be okay. So you can move from the showcase and you can go to the chat box by going to those tools. And in the chat box, you can then type in chat as well. So if you've got the chat box on, which I've got now, where I've put use hashtag, Peter's typed something in, Joe's typed something in. I don't know if any of you can see it. If you can, and you want to type anything in to see if it works, please do. Otherwise, you can use the hashtag that we've got up there, and it'll come through on Twitter, which was looking at then. You can also share the screen on here, and you can do a number of other things. For example, if I'm going to try and share the screen. If it will do it, let's see. I'm just trying it now.
There you go.
There you are. Good. I've just shared a PowerPoint presentation, which you can see. And so you could do a webinar with a PowerPoint presentation, which I can run through just like I would normally if I was doing a webinar on Sync Digital Samba, which is what I usually do. So we'll get rid of that one, but you can share the screen, which is to do. My computer's very slow at the moment. I don't know why that is, so there's a slight problem. But the share screen facility is a really good facility, which allows you to be able to do the Google Hangout as if it were a webinar in the same way. Time we can do that, you know, again in the future. Right. So let's have a look. There, I'm back. That stopped the screen share. I had to learn how to stop it there, which was why I was waffling a bit. So there are various things you can do. There are other all sorts of things you can do with this, but we won't go through them. I'm sure that Peter will tell you some things about it in a minute. I see that Rashid has used the chat box, which is great. So he's seen how to do it, and that's super. There are four things that we talked about. I've talked about with Peter that we can use the webinar system or the Google Hangout system for. One and lots of people do. Someone's sharing the screen at the moment. So there, we're back. Joe has come on, but no, you can use the Hangout as a webinar platform, and I've seen some real good examples of that. For example, I saw an interview that was done in Australia of Julia Gillard, who used to be the Australian Prime Minister, done on a Google Hangout with 10 people on asking questions and scores of people watching. And it was a really good webinar system. And it was set up almost as a streaming thing with two people, an interviewer and the Prime Minister. But you could do it in the way we normally do webinars, where we have two or three people. The other thing I'd like to do is that we have so many good people who come onto GlobalNet that we could do 10-minute short interviews of people about what they're doing. So, Joe, for example, if you had Cormac Russell, we could interview him for 10 minutes about his asset-based community development. And when we interview him on a Google Hangout, of course, it gets recorded on YouTube, as this is being recorded on YouTube, and we can edit it down afterwards to make it look really neat. But to do 10-minute short interviews, occasionally of key people, would not only be something that's available when we do it live for people who want to watch, but because it goes on YouTube, it's a recorded interview on YouTube, which means we're building up our YouTube presence as well, which is a great thing to do as well. The third thing that I thought we could do with it, which is going to take a little while, is you can use Google Hangouts to stream your meetings. You could go in with a camera with the meeting, and you can even use multi-camera, so I have no idea how you do that. I haven't learned how to do that yet, but you could go into a meeting, set the camera. You could even use an iPad to do it on as well, and stream it from an iPad, or even your phone. You could do it on as well, and you could stream a meeting straight onto a Google Hangout, so everyone has the chance to see it. And the fourth thing, which Peter said, and Peter, you might want to say a word about this, was that yesterday he said that you could do every so many weeks, every 2 weeks or whatever, you could have a pop-on hangout where people could just pop on if they wanted to talk about an event they wanted to hold, and they could talk it over with me or someone else, and we could see if we could get it going. Or they could pop on and talk to what we do, like the debate platform that we're working with. They could help run a debate online, or they could come on and say they want to do a webinar, and that would be a really good thing to do. So having every 2 weeks, say, a pop-on function which lasts as long as it takes. It may take only 5 minutes. It could be a half an hour, depending how many people come on. And it may be just one person. It could be 5. But if they have got real ideas, we can use those ideas to develop things. And I think that idea Peter has is great. I wouldn't want to run them all because too much if I did them myself alone regularly, but Peter might run one of them. Joe, you might run one of them, for example, of people who want to do things on community engagement. And if we've got web and techie people, they might run one about how people can help with streaming of meetings and so on. But we could pick and choose, and we could think about it and plan it. So those are the 4 things that I thought we could use Hangouts for if they work okay. So, I mean, if you, Joe, Rashid, Peter, want to come on and say what you think about that, and if anybody else who's viewing wants to tweet on the hashtag Hangout GN21 with any point, we'll take it up from the hashtag as well. Or if you want to go into the chat box, which you can access by putting your cursor to the right of your screen, and you see a set of toolbox coming up, and the little blue icon is the chat box, and you click on that, you'll see a chat box come on the right hand side. So either do it by the hashtag Google Hangout GN21 or go onto the chat box if you've got anything to say. And in the future, we'll try and get as many people on the video as we can. But Peter, Joe, Rashi, do you want to say anything?
Well, I'll just say something for a moment, mate. I'm checking the anything coming through on the hashtag, and I see Tammy M has just used the hashtag to say she's watching this, and has said Hangouts is available for streaming live. Tammy, if you can hear this, can you just put a chat message in the chat box? Just let's see if that function's working okay for us, please.
Oh yeah, that's Tam. Tammy now. Hi Tam. I knew you were going to try and come on, which is great. You can go on to a chat box if you want. If you take your cursor and move it to the left of your screen to the black area beside the video, you'll see some tools coming up. And the little blue one at the top usually is a chat box. Double click on that, you'll see a chat box then come up on your right. And you can type in the bottom of that then. And it would be good to see if you can do that and see if it works. And if you're having trouble, tell us on the hashtag.
That's good. One of the the ideas I was saying to Francis is that we could set up a Hangout area which is sort of running all of the time, even if we're not using it. But we can then say, right, 3 o'clock on Friday, we'll be in there. If anyone wants to talk about anything related to GlobalNet21, drop in. And everyone's got the link, they can just go there. It's a Hangout, it says, do you want to join? Yes, carry on. Sometimes when you do that, you find you're the first person and only person in there, no problem. You join the Hangout, you then go and ping using your Gmail account the person that you'd like to be talking to that said he would be there or she would be there, and then he or she will then join in and bang, away you go. So we need to develop a little bit around that, come up with some ideas, see what the community thinks about it. But it's a very useful technique. One of the people I deal with quite a lot is a guru called Martin Shervington, who's brilliant at everything Google+. And he has a thing called the PYB, the Plus Your Business Academy, and one of these permanent link things. So we all have that link. So if they're in there discussing something and they say, oh, let's see what Peter thinks of it, or let's see what Francis thinks of it, they'll send me a little ping through the Hangout system saying, oh, we're in here. If you're around, can you join in? There's a good discussion going on that would be of interest. So it's a really great technique for getting the community to coalesce and work together a little bit on enthusiasms and passions and whatnot.
I think
that's what that one's about.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think that maybe that's the one, a couple of those we could do first in order to play with the system and make sure we've got it perfect.
Yeah.
Because today we got a few things wrong.
The other thing on that, Francis, is that Joe and Rashid, with their community building exercises to do with democracy, that could be a useful technique for them to use for their own purposes, maybe outside of GlobalNet, maybe inside, doesn't matter, it's up to them. But it's a dead useful technique, Rashid.
Pardon me. Yeah, I'm especially interested in the possibilities for when you've got a main one to have breakouts which also use the video links, so that all the groups can form, getting together. So you have a main presentation, and then people can maybe have separate discussions on Hangouts and bring it all back together.
Yep.
So we can get more engagement and more involvement.
And the other thing on that, of course, is if they're Hangout on air sessions, they are automatically recorded to YouTube, which means you can then edit them, get the bits you want, make those bits public and bring them back to the other sessions. You've got a lot of flexibility doing that sort of thing. Just on that, I found an absolutely wonderful presentation from a gentleman called Ronnie Bincer, who is Mr. Hangout, about the techniques he used with Hangouts at South by Southwest when he went and interviewed people like Guy Kawasaki and all those kinds of guys. And he goes out there with a monopod with a camera and an iPad and God knows what on it. And he described how he used it, how he set it up, all the planning they did beforehand and so on. It's absolutely wonderful. So I'll pop the link up. In fact, I could put it in here if anyone wants to see it.
While you're doing that, Peter, Tam has sent another Twitter saying she can't find the text box. Can you help her with that? You probably can explain it better than me.
The only thing I could say is put your mouse cursor on the left side of the screen, and then a black border comes up, and you find a little blue chat box looking thing. And if you put your mouse on that, next to it, it says chat. Click it, and that should get you into the chat box. But what I'm wondering, Pam, is are you on the YouTube link, or are you on the Hangout link directly? That might be the explanation.
Maybe, Peter, you could send her the direct link that I sent, and maybe then see if she comes on video.
Okay, who are we talking about there, Francis?
Tam.
If you just copy, Peter, just copy it into the chat box, and I'll copy it and I'll tweet it to her.
Okay, all right.
I think I can do that.
Hold on. Sorry, I got something else on the clipboard. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Copy link address. Diddle, diddle, diddle.
Well, they're doing that.
There's that one.
While they're doing that, let me just say to everyone, this is an experiment. We're really on here playing around day. It's we talked about how we can use it, but we're also playing around with it to see, how effective it is. And so we're going to make some mistakes, and it's sort of fun, but it'll enable us to get it really smooth, and after a couple of sessions.
I think it's worth to say my equipment isn't impressive. I've got an old camera and just a fairly old dual core, and it's working okay. Getting fairly good video picture, good sound. I think that's important, that you can access it with equipment that is not state of the art.
Very true.
Okay, so you sent the link. That's good. And Joe is going to. It's in the chat box, which you can't see, Tam, but I think that Joe is going to send it on to you.
I've just tweeted it to you, Tam. I followed you. I followed you, your Twitter thing. Followed you, and I've sent you the tweet with this direct link. Maybe if you click on that and see what happens. Anyway, nothing ventured.
One of the things we're going to have to sort out, Peter, is the sort of green room, how you can go on for 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the broadcast starts. And the main people are coming on the video. We can get them on and we can do all the preparatory work before we broadcast it live. We found we got that wrong today, and we could only get you on when we started broadcasting it. So there's a lot of rubbish on the beginning of the broadcast. So we've got to somehow sort that little problem out.
Yep. The idea here is just to have a test session to see and verify that the quality of the broadcasting is good, which it is, that we can all hear each other, which we can. We can find our way around to find the chat box, which some of us haven't managed yet, but never mind. But it's a useful trial of the technology. I think it's going to come in handy for us.
Yeah. I don't know whether, Tam, if you're there, you've got the link come through to you, and if you have, and you click on it, you should come on the video, which is good. If you do, then we can sort of go through that with you.
I've got something to say here, fellas. This is a little point we need to find out. if there are a number of people on video like we are, and a number of people, other people watching, well, we need to be sure, one way or the other, that they can actually send in chat messages. Because if they can't send in chat messages, that's, detracts from what we're trying to do.
No,
Because,
it does actually work, Joe. It's just a
okay.
question of them finding their way around.
So we're going to have to give instructions to people beforehand on how they do it.
Yes, we are.
We do that because we weren't sure ourselves, but in the future we will have to do that.
We don't seem to have been able to do that with Tammy because we've explained very clearly, if she's watching, and she is, that if you just put your cursor on the screen, there's these buttons down the left-hand side, but she's not been able to manage that. So maybe when she puts the cursor on screen, she can't see the buttons, because that's happened with me and Rashid at times, hasn't it, Rashid? And we've been
I can just use Hangout chats, yeah.
Okay. And the reason I ask is before this session started, one of my other friends who works with Nick Beddoe, I think you might know, Francis. He's a close associate of Matt Scott, and he's working with people with disabilities, and he wants to do. He's working out what's the best way to engage with about 30 of them, and further engage with people who can't be present in the room. And we were trying to work out which would be best, a webinar session or an Hangout session. So it's partially because of that. I'm sat in here now, apart from the obvious, trying to work out what would be best for Nick to do his thing later on down the track.
Yeah.
And if he's going to engage with a number of people, and I think with these Hangouts, Francis, you said, and you can verify, Peter, that it's generally about 10 people you can see on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the other, and they would all have to, let me just clarify this, they would all have to have their own computer or similar. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So the people outside the room, we need to be sure that they can chat. And as you can see, as yet, Tammy has not been able to do it. So
she's just sent another tweet through to say she's just trying the link now that
I see. Yeah,
that you sent.
Yeah.
So let's see if she does.
Yeah.
But we'll have to sort that problem out, Joe. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's what this Hangout is for, is to look at all the problems that we've got to sort out. And to do a couple more trial sessions, and if that works well, that's fine. And if we ever do a webinar where we're going to have 10 people on, we're going to have to decide who the 10 people are and how we can get other people on if they want to come on. And if we get a wrong person on who tries to dominate because they can keep talking and go on, how to cut their audio or something. We'll see.
You have tools. You have tools for that, Francis. You can either mute them from your control panel as the organizer, the admin person, or you can heave them out of the door and say bye-bye. So you're all powerful. You can.
Wow.
You're all powerful.
Tell him how to do it. Peter, tell him how to do it now.
Right. How do I get rid of Joe? Did you say?
Yeah.
Go on, tell him how to do it. Just like I wouldn't be. I've not started it. But it's Francis who started it. So which tool does he use for that?
There's on his tool set. He's got control applications for the Hangout, and it's in there.
It's in the control room, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I think I can do that.
The control room is very, very powerful.
Yeah, I'll look at that later and see what I can do.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got control room, so that should be all right.
So Peter, I've noticed we've got Q&A there. When we click on it, we've got questions appearing from people who I assume they're putting the questions up from the viewer link.
Let's have a look. I haven't looked at the question Q&A.
Well spotted, Rashid.
So we've got questions coming from Catherine, eh?
And
Catherine?
Sarah.
Oh, okay. Can either one of you send another one at this moment so we can see it? Catherine's asking, can someone post a direct link?
I've not got her question on my screen.
Have you clicked questions and answers, Francis? Q&A? Over to the left.
Yeah, oh no, I have it, Catherine. He's stopped, yeah. Yep. Can someone post a direct Google Hangout link on
It
there?
may be, Francis, that you're the only one that can answer the questions. I don't seem to be able to.
No, me neither. Can you answer a question? Just say yes or no, Francis. You've just put yes up, haven't you?
Yeah. Looks like Tam hasn't managed to come on the link.
We're not
Francis, are
doing
you
too
able?
well at the moment, are we, with our outside people? We can manage the inside people okay, because I guess we've all done it before. It's these people on the outside, if that's the right terminology.
Yeah. So we need to post a link up for Catherine.
You do, but can you click on one of those questions, Francis, and answer it? Does that work for you?
Let me try. I'll just get it coming up. Let me see if well, you've got the link in the chat room, haven't you?
Yeah.
And Catherine, can't you get it from the chat room, Catherine? And you can see the link there.
You're rambling a bit there, Francis. What I've just got up in, what I can see is, can someone answer, currently answering, it's come up in blue at the top in live. Currently answering, can someone post a direct Hangout link to Sarah, as if you are answering it now? That's what it appears to be, to me.
Same here.
Can you see the same thing, Rashid? Blue at the top of, in blue at the top of the question and answer thing.
I have that, Joe, on my screen.
So, Francis, are you attempting to answer that question in any way?
Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can answer it.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be a box there for you to do it with, eh?
There is a stream of also on the GlobalNet Google Plus page. There are some messages appearing there. Maybe we can post a direct link there. So is this the link which?
Do you mean on the on the Google Plus page? Yeah, I don't
On the
have
Google
that up.
Plus
Maybe.
page, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we've got there. Oh yeah, can someone send me the direct link? Yeah, thanks. Let's put the link up there.
The link is in the chat box, Francis. You could copy it.
Yeah.
If you put your mouse over it and whatever you do on a Mac for copy link address with wrong click.
Yeah. No, I am. I'm sending it to. I'm sharing the link. There it is. So you've done it, and I've done it. You've put the link up, Rashid.
Yeah, I put it up. It didn't appear on my end though.
Okay.
Just refresh it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that link should get you directly on the video. So.
Aha! Hello, Sarah.
The learning curve than the webinar system, isn't it?
Yeah, Sarah's trying to join in. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a more generalized system, I
Okay,
think.
let's see if that happens. Oh yeah, it says she's trying to, and looks like Michael Fisher's
Hello,
joined
Sarah.
too. Ah,
And
Sarah
Michael.
and Michael.
Hooray!
Hello.
Hiya, Michael.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
Yes. I found my way through to you. Great. It works.
Okay, and Sarah sounds like she's an expert. She knows how to mute her microphone and so on. So she's probably certainly a lot more expert than I am. This is new for us, which is great. So that's good, Sarah. Thanks. Well, we're getting there. I don't know about Tam. You haven't tried the link, have you? I don't know if you're still there, but we've now got Michael on and we've got Sarah on, but you didn't manage to get on.
Yeah, the link helped. Hello everyone.
Oh,
Hello.
Michael.
I can see you, and I think you're. Uh,
Okay, and Sarah sounds like she's an expert. She knows how to mute her.
but
We're losing.
So she's probably
We're losing you, Michael. Try again.
for us, which is great. So that's good, Sarah. Thanks.
there's a.
Well, we're getting there. I don't know about Tam. You haven't tried the link, have you? I don't know if you're still there, but I think someone's listening to the recording because I'm hearing things I said about 2 minutes ago.
Hello everyone. Hello.
Yeah, I
That,
can hear it recorded in the background. How's that coming through?
it's because they've got two windows open. The original session they were in, and then this new session they've joined into us with.
Ah,
Michael, have you got two windows open?
There's a.
I think someone's listening to the recording because I'm hearing things I said about 2 minutes ago. Yes,
Exactly.
Sarah said cut out your live feed on YouTube if you've got it on.
Yep. Two windows open. The original session they were in, and then this new session they've joined into us with.
Ah,
Michael,
you
have you
you can mute your video or your audio, by the way, by putting your cursor to the top of the screen, and you'll see an audio and a video icon as well as a volume one, as well as your profile one. And if you click on the audio one, you can mute your audio while other people are talking, and then we don't get feedback from you. So I'm talking now, and I'm going to mute my audio right now, and that will stop any feedback from me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And what often happens is when people join in from the YouTube link and then start up in the video channel with us here, then you get this echo effect. So you just have to remember to pause the YouTube feed is enough, or stop it if you want. And then you've only got one session open and you don't get these problems. It sounds like Sarah's quite an expert on all this, which is great. Good to have you here. Yeah, headphones is a great tip as well.
And Sarah, would you be willing to help us develop the Google Hangouts with us and try to see if we can get a few going? Because you may not be an expert, but you are damn sight better expert than I am, and maybe some others of us. So Peter's done quite a lot as well. But if you could help, it would be great. Did you say?
We're waiting for Sarah's answer. A question for me. You talked about you came in from the YouTube link. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you just explain that a little?
Yeah, Peter, you mentioned that. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, you can participate in a Hangout as an audience member from YouTube. You can even do it from Facebook and LinkedIn using the same idea, but put that to one side. So in YouTube, there you can type in comments in the YouTube channel. What we need to implement, by the way, Francis, is the comment tracker, which will pluck them out of there and give them to you here. But it's another way that you can consume a Hangout on air as an audience member. Secondly, because it's a Hangout on air, it's recorded automatically. So if you then watch a replay or you miss the live event, you can consume the Hangout by going to the replay and just going through the whole thing and listening in your own time, which is quite useful. But the downside is that if you click in from YouTube to join in with us on the video, then you have two windows open and we get the feedback problem. So it's just a question of remembering to close down or pause the YouTube session once you join in the Hangout on the video at the bottom, which is called the film strip. So if you're on the film strip, pause the YouTube channel and you won't get the feedback problem, is how it works.
And those of us who are organising the Hangouts as well have got to learn, as I hadn't learned, the difference between the general link I sent out, which Sarah mentioned on Meetup, and that takes people in just as a viewer only, and the link that I sent out later, which is a link on the top of the screen now, which allows you to come on as a participant on the video.
Yes, that's true, Francis. So basically, when you set up the event for the Hangout, then that's the link that Sarah has used and tried to get in from, and that worked fine. She's then actually in YouTube, right? And what we do, the people in the film strip, you then send us that private link, and that gets us permission to get into the film strip. So the organisers decide, right, we're going to have 7 people on the film strip or 3 people, whatever it is. They're the only ones that will be there. Everyone else is an audience member with multiple ways to consume the output. YouTube is one, a Google Hangout app is another. There's lots of ways.
And if I send that link for people to come on the film strip, in theory, they should be able to come on, shouldn't they, even before I start the broadcast?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So you can set everything up before you broadcast.
Yeah. In theory, what we do is we get in there early. You've got a control button because you're the admin on it that says start the green room. Then we can talk amongst ourselves. Verify that comms is working, audio and video, do a bit of pre-event planning, say hello to each other, all that stuff. Just like you're used to at the BBC green room, Francis, you know, that meet and greet phase. And then after the event, when you stop broadcast, then the film strip people go back in the green room, as it were, continue, and they can have a post-mortem and say, what lessons did we learn, how can we do this better, etc., etc. So it's a very useful thing.
No, that's great. So, I mean, what we could do really to start this off maybe is organise a couple of the, what you call the pop-up sessions, Peter, where, you know, we ask people just to come on if they've got an idea they want to pursue, or a question they want to ask, or a meeting they want to get organised. And in those couple of, they may only be 20-minute sessions, they may be 10-minute sessions, but whatever they are, they will also give us a chance to work on getting these right and not worry too much if we do things wrong. So if we do a couple of those, that will be good for people who want to collaborate and communicate, and it will also be good for all of us just to get the system right. and then maybe we could do a couple at the same time. We could try and get key people like Cormac, not necessarily Cormac, but someone like them, to do a couple of these interviews and try that. People are not going to get too worried if we get it wrong the first time. And then after that, we'll try a really big webinar on the Google system and see how we can mess that up.
You seem to have gone off video. There you are again.
No, there are. Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Michael, can you hear us properly now? Everything all right your end?
Yes, I can hear you quite well. Maybe you discussed that already, as I was late and I had problems also before. Is there a space for PowerPoint presentations here in this system as well? Ah, so you discussed that already.
Yeah. You can share the screen, and when you share the screen, you see the PowerPoint presentation on your screen, or whatever is on your screen, including YouTube videos.
Okay, and where? Yeah, it's on the left hand. You can share screen.
Yeah.
There. I did not see that.
Yeah.
And of course, when Francis showed us a screen share from Francis Towers, he couldn't help himself, and he was off on a PowerPoint presentation. So we all had to wait until he managed to get control of himself again.
I hadn't. By that, let me explain. I hadn't discovered how to stop it. I was sort of fluffing around looking at how you stop it, but anyhow. So that's okay. Someone just said, Peter, that Tamanna's having trouble with her her plugin for chat. It keeps freezing.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So I don't know why that is. So maybe we can try that again. We'll try it with Tam. Maybe we can do another one with Tam, or maybe she can do the pop-in ones. I mean, the first couple of pop-in ones, we'll give them a name like pop-in, I don't know. But the first couple of ones can be about, collaboration, meetings people want to do, but can also be about people who want to see what the Hangout system's like. They just pop on to look at it.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of YouTube video about this? I suppose there is, for sure there is something that display explains this system, a video. I mean, we could send it around to everyone with each webinar or whatever we do with it, and people understand it easier.
Yeah. What I can do on that, Michael, is ask Martin Shovington for permission to circulate one of his how to do it sessions. He normally does about 10-minute video, but it's proprietary to him. But I can ask his permission and say, would you mind? And I'm sure he'll say yes, because it's in his own interest, obviously, for people get to know about them.
Yeah.
So I'll do that after this is finished.
Well, you're on there, Michael. Last night we had a meeting with Involve, Involve in Unlock Democracy, on government secrecy and so on. And Jose came, who is the person who started up this debate site called Netivist, that we're trying to link into, so that if we do a topic like government transparency, we've got a whole debate up online on Netivist, and people can put comments on it. And I told him about you, Michael, and the World Lecture Project, and he puts videos on the on each of his debates. And I said for GlobalNet ones, it would be great if each of the 2 videos come from the World Lecture Project. So I think I'm going to put him in touch with you so that we can really link up what he's doing and the World Lecture Project together, and it would be really good to do that.
Absolutely, that would be great. He can also send me the topics he is planning to discuss, and I can try to find some videos and create a themed site on that topics.
Yeah, well, he's going to set up, I think, he's going to set up a special link to GlobalNet, so you'll just have all GlobalNet, if you click on that link, all GlobalNet debates on there, and all of those would have your videos with your theme page, so we'll have a nice piece of integration going there.
Yeah, really. Thank you very much, Francis. That's very good. Great.
Okay, and I edited a little video of what Jose said and put it on YouTube and Facebook and Google Plus this morning, so you can look at that if you want.
What sort of video were you talking about now? I didn't
Oh,
get it.
it's a video that I recorded yesterday at the meeting. I interviewed Jose about
Ah,
Netivis,
okay.
and I've put it on YouTube and I've put it on Facebook and I've put it on Google Plus
Good,
and
great. Yeah.
and LinkedIn as well. So you know.
And and you send the link as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you should have it. I mean, if you go to our YouTube page, you'll see the video.
Okay,
But
alles klar.
I will send the link. It's on all the it's on all our social networks. But I'll send it to you individually, Michael, and I'll send you Jose's email address, and so you
Mm.
both can talk to each other. Anyhow, sorry everyone.
Yes,
That's what we can use Hangouts for little bits of business like that come up.
yes, that's good. Yes, and Francis, did you understand how to add videos on the World Lecture Project website?
I haven't tried it. I can see how you can do it, but I haven't
Yeah.
tried it yet.
Okay, in case you have difficulties, please let me know. As
Yeah,
yes, we want to know these things.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, look, we've had a good go at this, and you know, I guess we've been on it for an hour for most of us or more, and a bit less if you're just a viewer, and there are 4 viewers left. So shall we start by doing a couple of these pop-in sessions? And those pop-in sessions can be for people to talk about little business things like I did with Michael then, or to talk about meetings they want to get going or whatever, or just to come in and see how Google Hangouts work. And these pop-in sessions can almost be workshops, can't they? So if we organise a couple of those, and then I'll try and organise a couple of interviews, and you may have some ideas of people that we might interview for these 10-minute short interviews, which will then become YouTube interviews as well. So if we do those first of all, we will get started with Hangouts and get the hang of Hangouts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the digital Samba platform is more intuitive, and it presents to the screen a lot simpler. This I think is more powerful. Maybe it takes a few more goes to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think a webinar platform is great, and I think many people will want to use it. And the people who will want to use this will be, you know, people who want to get more involved in it, or people who just want to sit back and be a passive audience, like the Australian Google Hangout where they did with the Prime Minister. A lot of people just wanted to sit back and watch it almost as if it were a TV program. So you got those two different types of audiences.
One of the things I think we could use this for, when we have your webinars, Francis, they're at a specific time, but there are people in those webinars I would personally like to talk to afterwards. And if people who watch your webinars are capable and want to, just have just connect via a Google Hangout from the people who've been watching the webinars, and maybe, talk a little bit more amongst themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy at the meeting last night, Martin, who said that after we have, say, our House of Commons meetings where people don't have enough time to say as much as they want because the meetings are so full, they only get time to ask one question. And he said he'd be willing to organise some follow-up meetings, deliberative meetings around those. And, you know, we could do that and also do a Google Hangout as well, so that whenever we have an event where people want to follow it up, they could. Because the great thing about Hangouts, it doesn't matter if just 3 people turn on. Come on, it doesn't matter how few there are or how many. I mean, if people get something out of it, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. For me, the main thing is the quality of the sound. As with the other system that we use for the webinar, I had quite often lots of problems with understanding. And here now it's better, but we will see. Now I'm on the countryside. We will see how it is. It works when I'm in Berlin, back again in the city, or on other places. And if we want to go more international, this is very important to have a good connection and a good sound everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, so unless anyone else has got anything to say, shall we call it a day now?
I'll tell you what we can do, France. I just want to check something. You know, when you click off at the top of the evening, I just want to see if the rest of us stay here or it takes all of us out.
Oh yeah, that's what we'll do. I'm going to stop the broadcast in a minute. So let me do that now. Let's say this is the end of the broadcast session.
Before then, Francis, I think we still need a little bit more practice on taking the questions from the Q&A. That doesn't seem to be working very smoothly.
Yeah.
There seems to be people posing questions which aren't coming through.
Okay, well, we'll work that out. Let's see what we've got here.
I think next session we'll need to try that one again.
Yeah. When we do the next pop-up one, apart from the people coming on and with their own agendas, we'll have a little agenda each time to get one thing perfect, like the questions and answers. And let's try and work on the question and answer session next time. And maybe informally between us, Peter, you, me, and Joe, and Rashid, and so on, and Sarah, if you can help us, we'll try and get the question thing right so that when we do the pop-on, we can try it out. And if we then mastered that, then great, we've got another thing sorted. Okay, right. So let me stop the broadcast now and then see if everyone stays on who are on the video. So here goes. I'm about to stop the broadcast, which means it will stop the YouTube recording as well.